Hey guys, yes, I'm Frozer, and today I will show you another classic of my repertoire, which is Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, and on the DS, actually on the 3DS, and I'm going to play as Albus, which is the second character that you unlock when you finish the game for the very first time. So, I will just give a heads up real quick. The beginning of the game is incredibly fast, so with me I have my fellow commentator Diagon. He's unfortunately not on the event, but he will be here with me, helping me out a little bit, because yeah, there is quite a lot to say in the beginning. So
yeah, that's me.
All right. Okay. I will actually. We can actually start right now. So I will start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Yeah, so basically, at the beginning of the game, we have a low amount of stamina bar. I should first mention what that means, actually. Yeah, so in this game we don't have mana, we have stamina bar, stamina meter, like in Souls games, for example. So whenever you just like walk or backdash, you don't waste your stamina. When you use other options like warping, which you can already see being used actively, or high jumps, or attacking options, which we will see in a couple seconds during the first boss fight. First boss fights are they're
They are just
joke,
there
honestly.
to be there, you know. Look, I just killed the boss in like 5 seconds or something like that. It's absolutely crazy.
It's just like free level ups. That's about it.
Yep. Or to unlock other areas at this point. So, yeah. Another thing, I guess I can like talk about the comparisons between Shanoa and Albus. So, Shanoa is incredibly fragile early on, and she doesn't really have a lot of attacks because her gimmick is entirely based on glyphs that you either get from those statues that we just passed by, or from enemies that they can randomly drop. Or if they use a spell that corresponds to this skill, they will also be able to. You will also be able to steal it. Albus doesn't have that, so Albus has like very different kinds of attacks. Like he has the normal shot that you've seen, like it's just a rapid fire style of attack, and then he has the optical shot, which are those 2 orbs. And then a big orb that we will see later called the Ace of Baiters, or the max shot as Albus says it. And then there is also this fire kick, or sometimes I just refer to it as a blaze kick, or like anything else than I think this the intended name, which to this day, by the way, I've been running this game for like 8 years, I still don't know. So yes, we have like a lot of different names for different kind of things in this game. But yeah, the beginning as well is actually like not a lot is going on. We just have to get past through most of the sections as fast as possible by just using teleport, or if the stamina bar is empty, we'll just backdash, cancel into a jump. Alright, so this is the giant skeleton. This is a very scripted fight if I can do this properly. So we will start with normal attacks, then we will put an optical shot right onto him and use a blaze kick, and that's pretty much it. So that was a really good fight.
Yeah, that was a really clean kill.
Yes.
Yeah, this run overall has no glitches at all, and to unlock next areas, you have to kill previous bosses, or like clear previous areas. Yeah.
Okay, so this archer that you've seen, the skeleton archer that you've seen before, that is a real... I'm terribly sorry about that. That's such a dickhead. Sometimes, like most of the monsters around here have like a predictable movement pattern. There are certain enemies in there that are a little bit unpredictable, such as the skeleton archer. Sometimes he just fires immediately at you. Sometimes he just walks around left and right, and then it's perfectly fine. And there is other instances of monsters. Also, I need to be careful here. So normally you're not supposed to get caught by those lights, but if you do, there is like a really strong enemy that you're normally not supposed to fight at this point in the game. But we still activate it, so we don't have to worry about it as soon as we get like past the halfway point of the room. Alright, so this is the next boss, Brachiora. Brachiora is pretty much an auto-scroller boss, if I do this fight perfectly as well. Actually, like most of the bosses are. So I will start up with the optical shot right down here. Then I will use another optical shot here, another optical into a max shot, and another optical. And this makes him turn red, and now he will try to destroy the ceiling. Which turns out to be a really bad idea for him. So, just as a fair warning point, there will be like a really gory scene right after that. So if you really dislike it, you probably want to turn away in like 35 to 40 seconds into this fight. And by that I mean you absolutely have to watch it. This is probably like the best kill that actually exists in any of the Castlevania games. But you know,
yeah, exactly.
you need to give the people a warning, right? So, because funnily enough, there was like one guy complaining about it a while ago. So,
really?
So after
Okay.
after he destroys the ceiling, like he gets like a separate HP bar, which we obviously don't see. So that's why I started attacking right after he does that. If you attack before that, it doesn't do anything. And also, I'm just waiting before all the rocks are off the screen, because this particular area is like very, very laggy with all the particle effects. Alright, the kill's coming up right now.
Yeah, so that is as good as you can get, basically.
Oh my god, that was... Why are you clapping for that? That was like... Okay, so another thing about Brachiora specifically is... depending on what time you actually kill him, like there will be more or less blood. And I unfortunately hit the switch at the very worst frame. So like if he's completely white, then yeah, like you've seen, it was incredibly laggy, and usually we don't want to do that. It can lose up to like 3 to 4 seconds at this point. Okay, so this is our obligatory water area. There will be another one, by the way. And in that case, we just rely on our teleports pretty much to move fast.
Yeah, by the way, teleporting is interesting mechanic,
Yes.
because we didn't mention it yet. Whenever you press or touch screen, wherever you touch it, Albus teleports there. It costs you some stamina, and that's what that's the main movement tech, obviously. In this run.
Yeah. So how it works actually is it is a fixed amount. Doesn't matter like how far you teleport. So sometimes you can just like use like a small teleport, which obviously should not do that, and it still costs the same amount of MP in that case, or stamina, as we just referred to, just to simplify it a little bit. So the next couple of areas are just pretty much like just going past by it. So this area has a lot of those flying enemies, and this can be... Oh, okay. I did not expect to get through that. Usually the monsters around here have like a set area spawn, so like you can pretty much like predict sometimes where they're going to be. Yeah,
No, not really.
Oh,
Butterflies
okay.
are horrible.
Yes. Also, by the way, the voice acting in this game is great. No, it actually, like, I really like it. It gives like certain enemies a little bit of an extra charm. I mean, those vampire ladies, for example. Okay, I need to be careful. So at this point, Albus also is really fragile now. So like most of the monsters deal between like 30 and 40 damage. So I actually had to a little bit be careful. So Alright, but that's perfectly fine. Since there's a save point anyways, we can heal up. So this is the Man-Eater, and the Man-Eater, we just switch between optical shots and mech shots, and that was also pretty much perfect.
Yeah, Man-Eater is weak to all attacks, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, he dies really fast.
Yeah. So certain skills have different kinds of attributes that are assigned to it. So the normal shot is basically just a blunt type of attack. Then the optical shots are light, even though there's two different colors, but they're like both of them are light attributed. And then there is the Acerbatus or max shot. That one I don't think either has like dark aligned to it or no element, but it also has like an extra function where you can curse enemies, which is like absolutely useless. And then there is and then there is of course the blaze kick, and I will save here. Okay, so Usaka is very interesting.
Yeah, because normal attack is pretty much the best attack there is, DPS-wise. And she's weak to normal attacks. That's why we just use our machine gun there.
Yes. This is definitely a machine gun, not just a regular gun, right? So, this is the most interesting boss fight in this game, by far. Like, it uses the classic Cyber Demon strategy from, like, a lot of guides, where it says, yeah, shoot at it until it dies, and that's what we're basically doing here. Okay, I am not liking those random spawns, so I will actually have to heal up here, just for safety. So yeah, it has a lot of bats and, like, flying random things, and this is the worst one. So those are ectoplasms. If I get hit by the ectoplasms, I am not allowed to do anything anymore except for walking and backdashing, so we kind of try to avoid those. In this area, it's like not a problematic thing. The next one, however, it is. I should also save here. Okay, so this
is not problematic because you skip half of the area. This boss is also actually the difficulty spikes right here from this boss, because he has way more HP than previous bosses. But he's also not that hard because he is weak to most of Albus's attacks.
Yeah.
And you can read his attacks easily.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, Goliath is the first boss where we can actually die from one hit. Actually, Rusalka does that as well, but we can easily avoid it. Goliath, however, yes, he just didn't do it, which is great. And we can also avoid the insta-kill attack, technically. So, yeah. As you can see, like, most of the bosses went relatively fast, so we cannot even explain most of the attacks that they do. And quite fortunate, they're pretty irrelevant for most of the game, actually. So until we get to the later stages in the boss, on the boss fight. So yeah. So this is the Tristy's Pass. It is important that you do not dash here. If you do that, there will be a bat spawning right in front of you. You will get hit, you will fall into the spike, and if you're around that HP I am, you will die. Also, I actually just got through this cursed room quite casually.
Nice dodges.
Yes. So this...
Yeah, that room is awful.
Yes, so this is the infamous cursed room. I know, very innovative name for it. We just invented it at AGDQ 2020, I think. This room is very infamous for just killing runs outright. Because there is like not a really... there's not really a save point really close to it.
Oh, that's because ectoplasm spawns are pretty much random.
They are random,
and
yes.
you can't read or expect them to be somewhere, or not be somewhere.
Exactly. I will not save here. Look, Diagon remembers this boss fondly from AGDQ 2020, right?
I mean, I'm bad.
No, it's
Stuff like
fine.
this
It's
happens.
fine. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Okay, so this is Grave Dorcas. As the name suggests, he can be a dork sometimes. And what we want him to do is we want him to spit those small balls, and we can actually manipulate it by staying close to this small island right there, if he shows up. If we get a little bit closer too early, he will spit out poison, and that is a really bad thing to happen. Because first of all, we can't really attack him at all, since like he just spits balls, but we just pretty much destroy them immediately with optical and mag shots. And yeah. That's one thing. And that was a perfect fight. So there was an attack.
A really good one.
So there is an attack that he can do where he destroys one of those small things, and those are very slow. You cannot do the regular attacking chain as you would normally do with the optical mag shots and the blaze kicks. And yeah, if he does that, like, it wastes a lot of time. If he does that twice, it is even worse, because then he will enter an attack that he moves all the way from the left to the right, and you cannot do anything about it. And it is really awful.
Really slow. It's really slow, and he's underground, so you can't hit him.
Yep.
And yeah, that means you lose time.
Yeah.
Obviously. Something important. Whenever Frozer is low on stamina, during boss fights, he wants to use Blaze Kick, because during Blaze Kick you actually replenish, or your stamina bar regenerates, because Blaze Kicks use hearts instead of stamina.
Oh yeah, watch this boss fight, by the way.
Yeah, that's the best boss fight, by the way, yeah. By far.
Oh.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
press the button. It's fine. It happens. So this is a boss fight. Yeah, as you can see, you just have to press the button at the right time. And unfortunately, I just didn't do it once. But that's fine. It's nothing troublesome anyways. Like, you can get hit twice, so it's alright. But yeah, yeah, the Albus boss fight is actually something that I figured out, like, that's the first thing that I want to do, and also this is not the right area. There we go. And yeah, that's like the first strat that I just actually managed to do, so... And I'm glad that I didn't do it right. But whatever. Okay, so this is Barlowe. Barlowe is like pretty much like the first actual difficult fight if you don't know what you're doing, because his movement is very erratic. He has like a lot of skills that he can do, for example, like the fire books. And depending on what he does, we vary between attacks. Usually we start off with normal attacks, and we weave optical shots in between there. Okay. He really gives me like a lot of books.
You don't care anymore about Barlowe.
No.
Because at some point you just
wow!
you just completely read the boss.
Yes. Okay, he didn't do his 5 punches of doom, which is unfortunate, because this is probably like the best line in the entire series. I mean, arguably, it's not as great as the intro from
of course, it's slower, but yeah, it's a meme phrase. So,
well,
yeah.
There is unfortunately a thing that I cannot couldn't show. I have recently found a strategy where you can abuse this attack quite hard. So, another thing that I also haven't mentioned, if you backdash, you're like you have a little bit of an invulnerability. So, we can use that to actively dodge attacks, and the punches, you can do like a 3 or 4 frame window of the backdash, and immediately shoot him. You will get past him, he will not hit you, and you will attack him for the maximum amount of damage. Unfortunately, I really couldn't show it up, which is...
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it is interesting, but
I'm glad I couldn't see it.
Yes, because I gave Diagon a warning. I'm going to do some really silly stuff, unfortunately. And one of these things is this.
Yeah, like skipping the save point before the hardest boss in the game. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
I accidentally did that in 2015 as well. I actually need to... Yeah, okay. That was a little bit too early. But that's fine.
Hope you have
I have a save.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So
just
this,
as I thought.
yeah, so this boss fight is very unpredictable, unfortunately. So that's why I made this backup save. The reason for that is, again, his hitboxes are really weird and his attacks are a little bit like chaotic a little bit. So for example, like he has a lot of active hitboxes when his arms are a hitbox. Everything that is pretty much the shadow itself is a hitbox. And there is an attack that he can do where he just instantly shoots the laser and then you die. There's like nothing that you can do about it. Okay. I am not going for the orb. Oh yeah, by the way, there's orbs in this game, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you can skip those as Albus, but
Yes.
you can't as Shinoa.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It works like that in every Castlevania game, actually. You can skip the orb as main character, but you can as additional characters.
Okay, this room is a little bit dicey because of those flying things again. Whew, okay. Thankfully, there is a save point. Right next to this room. Okay. Now I will save. I should have done that every time, actually, but yeah. Yeah, now we're at the part of the game where, like, small mistakes can be very unforgiving. So everything in this area deals at least 70, and we're at, like, 268 HP, which doesn't really sound like it's, like, a big issue, but you will die in 4 hits pretty much at any point. There are enemies that can deal over 100, or that they can chain hits. So they will also, like, immediately kill you. Not for this area, unfortunately. Like, you can dodge most of the stuff here.
Yeah, you could see that Frozer grabbed teleport for later, because it saves some time.
Yeah, normally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to death first, at least as Shinoa. And we're actually going to do a small rerouting. We're going to Eligor first. The reason for that is in Shinoa you get the death ring, but we cannot equip any items, so there's like no point into going death first. And it's also in the same direction for Dracula as well, so we just...
Yeah, it's closer to Dracula from death than from Eligor. This is the main reason, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, okay, they didn't move early, that's nice. So there's also a bunch of rooms with like different new armor types and enemies. Again, we just get passed by those. And okay, need to be a little bit careful here. So those swords. If I just try to dash through that, if you get hit, you will die. There's nothing you can do about it, except for just not attempting on doing that. Alright, so Eligor. Oh boy, people really hate this boss. Or in a casual playthrough. I kinda do as well, but fortunately we're not going to do most of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait until he does the down stab attack, and then we just teleport up here, and then we will switch between optical shots and max shot and regular attacks.
Yeah, warping mechanic just allows you to skip 3 phases. Which is wild.
Yeah. For Shinoa, you also can skip this if you would get to the training hall immediately after you do Blackmore. So we can skip this. Also, there is a reason why I'm standing all the way to the left. So for whatever reason, it actually checks the location on where you are and depends on what attacks you do. Also, that was a really good fight as well. So like it scans actively where you are. So if you're standing on the far left of his saddle, then it will do his phase 3 attacks, which is pretty convenient because there is only one thing that can actually hit you in that case, because there is those crossbows on the side that will try to shoot you if you're right in the middle or on the... Okay, yeah, let's just re-enter it. Those crossbows are really annoying. Exactly. Yes. Those are annoying. Then, like, his phase 4 attacks also are really hard to avoid, especially... Oh yeah, thank God I didn't teleport there. So there are Medusa heads, by the way. Yes, it's very late into the game, but that's like the first instance where we actually see them. Also those Gorgon heads. So Gorgon heads very bad if you get hit by them, and since they spawn randomly, yes. So if you get petrified, you're dead. There's not much you can do about it. Also, you may have seen that I distinctively avoided the spikes. So if you try to teleport to spikes, you will get hit for whatever reason. Okay, so Death. Death is a boss. Normally you don't want any boss to attack you, but Death is like the one of the few beneficial ones where it actually helps when he does attacks, because then he's predictable. So when he does his swipe attack, I will go for an optical shot and into a blaze kick. If he does that attack, I will also go for an optical shot into a blaze kick. It's like pretty much like the same thing over and over again. Sometimes I just have to place the optical shots in a different way. Also, that is a bad position where you are. I don't want you in the corner, please. Okay. This is also the second hardest boss if you don't know what you're doing, but it works out perfectly fine. So those small sickles, they spawn randomly, except if he does attack, so that's why we also want to attack him, so we don't have to actively dodge those. And it was a good fight as well, so... And that is also the last boss before Dracula. So now we just need to go back to the same spot as we were before, and we don't have to take the warp here, so we just go to the final area by normal means at this point. So since we defeated those 3 bosses, we can actually go to the final area. That's like, there's also another boss, but Albus cannot do this boss because you would have to steal a glyph. While the boss is in a wall, so yeah, we cannot do that, and so which skips pretty much like a large part of the castle. I think like 1/4 of it at least. So yeah. So the final area, yes, it is also quite dangerous as well. There's like a lot of those imps. There is also a lot of enemies that are quite huge. Again, those flying swords. I don't want him to use any attacks, which is good that he didn't do that. And then those things. Then we see those Black Knights. We walk a little bit further so he doesn't immediately start with an attack. And if he does that, we cannot get past through this section. So I'm glad he didn't do that. We get the last heart upgrade because we need these amounts of hearts for Dracula to kill him as fast as possible. And I would like you to explain Dracula, because I kind of need to focus a little bit. All right.
Yeah, I know what you're going to go for. So Dracula is cycle-based. He has 3 attacks on the first phase. He has three different attacks, but it's always the first one Hellfire, the second one the big dark orbs.
Yes.
I forgot how they are called. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
The third one is those green beams. And you can manipulate Dracula during first... No, it's during second phase, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But also you can interrupt any of his attacks whenever they're on either corner of the room,
mm-hmm.
because you don't want Dracula to be in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Because then you cannot do your
because
rotation.
you can't do your normal rotation with Blaze Kick.
Okay, this is the most illegal thing.
Yeah.
Dracula is... Oh. Okay.
Oh, that's bad.
So yeah, he can walk in this game. That's the thing. Okay, so phase 2 I can explain, that's just fine. So also phase 2 is a little bit cycle based, since like the amount of damage that we do just fits perfectly. So he will do either spawn bats or he will spawn wolves. Thankfully we can interrupt it by just doing like a diagonal dash in front of him. The problem is like if I do it too short, like he will hit me, and since I'm at 138 HP, I will die on the very next hit. So yeah, and then after he does one of those two attacks, he will go for a soul steal, and that's pretty much it for this fight. And we will always rotate between optical shot. Also, time is coming up right now. Yeah. If I read it correctly, that was a 29:47, so that was a really good time. Anything that is below sub 30 is good, even with this one death that we just don't talk about it, right? Right. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty much it. There is like no big ending scene. The castle gets destroyed. Albus just walks away, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and as you can see, like it is a really like it's not a short game. It has like a lot in depth in it. So like we couldn't even like explain most of the fights, unfortunately. But there's like a lot of strategy behind it, why we are doing certain things. But yeah, that's actually it for me for now. Wait, we actually have one more donation, so we can actually read that right now.
Micron donated $5. This one goes for Frozer. What a mad lad. Always a pleasure to see you running, bro. Best of luck from the whole erased crew from Switzerland. Less than 3, you can't hit me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he says quite a lot of times you can hit me, so yeah. So I will also give a shout out to Micron. He's like the guy that actually told me that I ran for a marathon that he did, and I actually had to de-rust this game after like 4 years at this point. And I also submitted this one just for funsies, so it actually, I'm still glad I could show it up. I have 2 more shoutouts to make. First of all, I have to shout out to Nadine, my better half, and I am really thankful for her that I could actually do all these kinds of things while like just doing... Yeah, I'm sorry, I have not much else to say. That's why I'm nervous a little bit. And of course, like people from the Ascent/Puzzle crew. I know like a lot of people are watching from there right now. I also wanted to come here, but I will visit a couple of them later on this week. So that's it for me for now. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you around. Oh, and one more thing, because I got asked for it. So please donate. We need to reach this 150k so Eden shaves his head. Right. Alright, yeah, that's it. So, see ya, guys.